Hey guys, Tate from Florida here, and I'm at a hidden ghost town. Actually, not so hidden. It's called Nuttallburg, West Virginia. So this coal mining town, that was fairly large, was built in 1873, and it was closed permanently in 1958 by a guy named John Nuttall. So this was a very thriving big town. It had houses and a store and all kinds of things. One of the cool things to point out about this, this thing you're looking at here. So this pulled the coal out, but it took it down toward the trains also. And in 1920, Henry Ford bought this. He needed coal to power his factories. The problem was that the train system that it ran on, he couldn't control. So thus, he had a big problem getting the coal to maintain the factory production that he needed. So he shut it down in 1928, or he resold it in 1928. So that's an interesting tidbit about this. But this is old. It's buried here in the hills of West Virginia on the New River. So let's go around and check it out on this nice rainy day. You can see the mountain behind this particular structure up top, up in the clouds up here. So you can see the very long conveyor system that came down from the mountain all the way down, and that's pretty high up, all the way down. And then it went down to the railroad that was right below this. Gonna go down there in a few minutes though. All right, so right in front of me here is what's left of the company store here, out here at the mine. And typically these were owned by the mining company, but they became a social place for everybody to meet up as well. But they carried everything that a mining family would need. But this is what's left of it. Archaeologists have looked at this and said that they think this store dates back to the earliest part. So that'd be the late 1800s of this mining town. Let's go have a little walk inside this general store. Pretty much not left but the four walls. Here's a remnant of something, not sure what it is. It had four walls, only about 8 feet wide, 10 feet long. So in front of me here, past the main mining town part, is the trail to what's called the Seldom Scene. It was a small housing area. Had about 24 houses on it. Right now there's nothing left but foundations. So I'm not going to go out there today, especially because it's raining pretty hard. But if you happen to be able to find this town and come out here, it might be worth it. It's only about a half-mile round trip from this point here. So yeah, the community that once existed. So right here from the general store, walk down here. Now I have no idea what this is, to be honest with you. They had these thing called coke ovens. C-O-K-E, like the drink. And that's what these are. I have no idea what they are. You can kind of see in there a little bit. Goes back probably 20 feet or so. And they're lined up here. There's quite a few of them. God bless America. This is awesome. There's quite a few of these. You're not gonna believe this. Okay, so I wanted to backtrack just for a quick second here. These coke ovens I referred to a moment ago, and I said I didn't know what they were. I do know what they are. So they took coal and they made a product called coke, C-O-K-E, like we drink out of it, and it was a pretty high, powerful producer for power, is what they used it for. So that's what these ovens are, coke ovens. There were quite a few of these, as you can see. In the center of each one, there's a top for fumes to get out, or escape, or heat. See, this one here is partially collapsed down in. If you're able to find this town, ghost town, bring a flashlight, bring some good hiking shoes, a hiking stick, and be very careful. And if you notice the tracks here, these are the original tracks that ran through here. There's a set of tracks on the bottom, I'm going to show you in a second, that is still currently in use by CSX today. So don't wander onto those when you come here. All right, so you can see the amount of coke ovens there was all the way down that long row. That's a lot. So now we're nearing the operation here where the coal came down from the mountain and it came down the long conveyor system and it was loaded onto the cars, the railroad cars right here. And as I mentioned earlier, 8 years Henry Ford owned this place trying to figure out how to get coal to his factories to make them run faster. Could never figure it out. So right here you can see, at the bottom of this, you can see That is the current CSX railway, and it is still in use. And if you can hear the roar behind me, you can see the river down there in the rapids. Very, very steep climb. So that whole long system going way up to the mine up there, which by the way you can hike to, but it's steep, came down this long conveyor system in here, and then eventually came down and was loaded right into the trains right here. And off they went. And there are signs out here giving you a little bit of the history. This is a really neat thing out here in the woods of West Virginia on the side of a mountain. Highly encourage you to come out here and take a look at this. The last thing I do want to mention is that set of stairwells directly in front of me here. If you go up top, there's a loop trail, and on top of that trail is a white church and a white school. They still did have the segregation back then, and down behind me there's a trail down closer toward the river. There was a black school and a black church. The only thing left there are the remnants of those particular items, but they are there if you want to walk that loop. So that's it. So come check this out in West Virginia. Very scenic out here as well. Okay, so a quick summation here. You can definitely hike this up to the mine. They say it's, I haven't been able to do it, and we're losing sunlight today, so, but it's a very, very steep climb. So probably would have to be planned for an all-day event for that to see if you can even get there. And I would say, if you do happen to be able to get up there, do not go in the mine. Not safe. So this big pile of stuff here in front of me is actually the conveyor, part of the conveyor system that ran through there. I don't know exactly how it operated, but you can see I want to call them tracks or treads, whatever you want to call them. You can see the wheels, how it ran on both sides of it, and the motors and gears that drove it all. So they probably pulled all that down for safety's sake. So people do walk around out here. And a lot of support cabling. So, but this is absolutely gorgeous out here. Come find it and leave it the way you found it.